But the other big thing with heavy campaigning before, when a market's down or an industry's down, is that as people start to fall off, the buy low, sell high, as the buy high, people start to pull back their horns. When the industry starts to ramp back up, if you put your name out there, well, guess what? You get first kick of the can.
Yeah,
That's a
you
huge
definitely
advantage.
want to be positioned for when things turn, and it's not. Marketing is very, very interesting and very layered, not as simple as people think. And when you talk about promoting your product, that's one thing. But when you talk about positioning, that's a different strategy. And I think that's the thing you want to do when things are down, is you want to position yourself as an industry leader. You want name recognition. When things turn around, who's the first group you call?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you want to be. And so the marketing strategy is, how do you get there? And you get there from being recognized in our industry, for recognized as technical expertise, for being recognized as being able to build relationships, being trustworthy. There's some things there that are, in leadership, we call them soft skills, but how do you portray that to the market? And that's the interesting thing about, I'm fascinated by marketing, and we've done a lot of different things at Cementation, and I've seen things from other groups. And, you really want to think through I'm not promoting Crownsmen here. You really got to think
you can
through
promote
your marketing
Crownsmen
investment
here.
and decide what you want to do. And that's very important. And I've seen far too often where people have a marketing budget and say, well, we'll put some ads on the highway, we'll do this, we'll do that, and that'll be our $100,000 for the year or whatever. But it's really important to decide what you want to do with that marketing.
And who you want to go after too. That's I was talking about it with Gowdy, Rory, before we started this, is that you have to be okay if one person drives a little Ford Fiesta, one drives a 4Runner, one drives a G-Wagon, whatever it is. All those companies are selling to a different segment, and they're okay with not selling to the other segment, right? And I think, especially unless even the billion-dollar companies, they have an understanding of where their market is, and you don't want to spread out your market. Kind of adding to what you're saying, Roy, if you spread out your dollars, just trying to get everybody. Well, everybody's not buying. Most people are not buying.
The sales data coming in, like working hand in hand with the sales team, you want to have that information coming in. Like, what are you hearing from the customers? What are you hearing? What do they like? What don't they like? Because that can build out what the message is to them.
Yeah.
And that often gets lost. Like, you'll kind of hear, like, you'll talk to people and they'll make a backhanded comment about, like, the marketing team. That's not a good thing. You want those like closely knit, because they are obviously, like, the sales, that sales part of it is basically number one with the marketing. Like, they're kind of hand in hand. Welsh talked about it. Like, you can't have one without the other. So
and listening to your market too is, you have to be careful of not making decisions based. I've seen this before, where people make marketing decisions based on negative feedback for people that aren't buying anyway.
Right.
And it seems like, who would make that mistake when you're saying it? But when you get that nasty email, it's like, yes, but that person was never going to go work with you ever. So don't change your whole strategy based on, and now on the internet, someone could post something, and it could feel like 1,000 people posted it because you're seeing it out in public.
Well, and the other thing, and maybe it's just me, but I've always been very involved in marketing with the company, because marketing is the image of your company in the public sector and in the market. And when you look at something like Bud Light and the big faux pas there, the Dylan Mullaney incident, where the senior people at Bud said that they weren't aware of that marketing program. Mm-hmm. That marketing program cost Bud their leadership role. Bud Light is no longer the number one beer in America. Modelo is.
Yeah.
And that was solely because of that marketing program. And when the shareholders questioned the executive, they said they weren't aware of that. It was a VP in New York that did that, who is now no longer with the company. But if marketing is about your strategy and it's your image within the market, you better be aware of what you're doing. And I mean, I'm talking to CEOs now, I'm talking to executives. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you give a rubber stamp to and say, you've got this budget, do what you want.